My beautiful people, thank you so much for following, for liking my page, for commenting. I really appreciate y'all. So the topic today, which I posted on my page, and again, please like and share my videos, and please comment. Give me your opinions. I love opinions, regardless if I agree with them or not. But the topic today is, and I kind of have some notes this time because I want to be very sure that I'm giving the correct information. So, topic today is, why hasn't he asked you to marry him? I know a lot of women been in relationships for years, and they say that they're ready. They say they're ready to jump into a relationship. They say that they're ready to be somebody's wife. They feel as though they're in a place of where that man should recognize where she's at and that she should be married right now. She's ready to put a ring on the finger. She's ready to do all the wifely duties and do all these things. All right. So I feel you. So if you're in that place, hats off to you. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm proud of you. You're doing exactly what you need to do to be in the right place for this man to ask you for your hand in marriage. But there are some women out there that are not in the place and think they are, but don't want to own up to it, because it's a lot of work to be married. It's a lot of work to say that you're somebody's wife. It's not just saying that you're somebody's wife. You have to act upon that as well. So you actually have to play a part in that marriage. It's not just saying, hey, I have a husband at the house, or me and the hubby doing this, me and the hubby doing that. It's a lot more action than it's actually talking, and people don't recognize that. So hopefully this topic today is going to help men and women, help men recognize their fears and their missed opportunities, because there are some wonderful women out there that are ready to get married. They've positioned themselves to be asked to be married, and they are willing to do the wifely duties, the things that comes along with being in a marriage, right? So just some of the things I'm going to talk about now. Me, I'm not a professional, but I am speaking from experience, and I'm speaking from my faults, and I'm speaking from my positives. So there's a pros and cons, and where I'm coming from. So I feel like this is going to help some people. But the first thing I want to talk about, why hasn't he asked to marry you, is something that he sees. This can range from your attitude. This can range from you being lazy. This can range from your cleanliness. Excuse me. This can range from how you talk to your kids, how you deal with your kids, how you deal with your parents. This can be how you feel about yourself. Self-confidence in a woman is really, really big to men, and a lot of women don't recognize that. Like, you can be a BBW, you can be a small frame woman, petite, all these different things. And of course, you have to have that physical attraction to a woman, but at the same time, you also have to have that woman that has confidence in herself, that walks with all the confidence in the world and knows that she is the ish. But a lot of women, they don't believe that, or they think they do. But men, not talking about boys, talking about men, we actually see that. We can tell if you're insecure. We can tell if you don't have the confidence. We can tell all these things. Sometimes some men speak on it, and sometimes we don't. And then we do speak on it with some women, not all women, but when we do speak on it, there are some women out there that always say the exact opposite of what we just told you, because you don't feel that within yourself. So it's been plenty of times where I've said something to a woman and say, yo, you are really beautiful. And she'd be like, oh, I'm all right. And I mean, when you joke, that's different. But when you are really serious, like, oh, I'm all right. Yeah, I got to work on this. I got to work on that. Yo, men don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear the lack of confidence. You got to have that confidence in yourself before we even decide on wanting to be with you. Because for one, we don't want to hear you say, no, I'm ugly. My hair not long enough. I'm too big. I'm too skinny. You putting all this weave and stuff in your hair, these body injections that women are doing now. Y'all worried about all the wrong things. We worried about you being the woman that God created you to be, and we love the self-confidence. And it's a lot of women out there that don't have that. All right, so that's just some of the things that us men see that women don't recognize. Because, and then also when it comes to when we do ask you to marry us, There's some other things that we need to make sure that you're going to continue to do when we do decide on putting a ring on your finger. All right. So, I mean, I'm not going to make the video extra long, but that's just the topic off of something he sees. Okay. All right. The other one is something that he feels. Something that he feels could be something of you more so not loving him the way that he needs to be loved. Now, of course, that's communication. And again, fellas, if you're thinking about marrying this woman, I mean, you already been with her for 3, 4, 5, 10 years for some people, but you have not yet to ask to marry her, but you're not explaining to her why you haven't asked to marry her, because at this point, she's getting impatient. Now, if you're with a woman that deserves to have a ring on her finger, that deserves to have a husband, that deserves to have a leader in her home or in y'all home, and you're not taking the time out to actually talk to her and communicate to her, like, look, these are some of the things that I'm feeling right now, and I kind of need you to talk to me and to help me understand the reason why you do these things. You got to talk through it, fellas. Like, that woman is not going to stick around forever. Eventually, somebody's going to recognize that she's the queen and recognize that she does have that confidence that I mentioned earlier, and that she's ready to go forward and being somebody's wife. So you can't waste your time, and you can't waste her time. So if it's something that you need to communicate to her, you need to go ahead and do that, and do it fairly quickly, especially if you've been in a relationship as long as I just told y'all about. So if you feeling some type of way, or you feeling like, you know, some things that some men don't talk about, that you feel like you're going to cheat, or you feel like you have anxiety, or if you feel as though she's not attractive in this area anymore, you feel as though she's maybe not cooking and all these different things, like she's not going to help you, she's not going to be the helpmeet that you don't think she's going to be by putting a ring on her finger, then you need to communicate that to him. And ladies, also too, if you are his girlfriend or even his fiance, sorry about that, y'all, if you're his fiance and you're claiming to be his wife, his soon-to-be wife, and you're planning all the things to make the wedding look beautiful, to make the reception look beautiful, are you in a place of where you can show him and also help him feel comfortable knowing that you're not going to change up on him, that you are going to be continually consistent with everything that you've been doing? You have to make sure that that man feels comfortable. Make sure he feels secure. Women are not the only people that wants to feel secure whenever you're going into the next step in your relationship. So make us feel secure as well. We need that. We desire that. We may not speak it out loud because we're men and we're supposed to be strong and all these different types of things, but help us understand that you're going to be there and that you're not going to change up the game when it comes to the physicality of things, when it comes to the mental, the affection, and the being a cheerleader that we need in our life. The other thing I want to mention, something he is afraid of. This is really big, and I think this is going to help the men and the women. A lot of people have watched bad relationships growing up, and you haven't seen that many successful relationships. If you grew up with your mom and your dad in the house where they kept the arguments away from you all, but they showed love amongst one another and even with y'all, and they're still together and they've been together for 25, 30 years, so on and so forth, and you see them have a strong relationship, of course you knew it wasn't perfect, but at the same time you saw love growing up. Everybody don't see that. So because we don't see love growing up, we grow up and we have fears of maybe it's not going to work out because I seen such and such, and I know such and such, and I know all them. Their relationship didn't work out. The wife cheated, the dad cheated, the dad wasn't there for the kids, the mom, she was out partying, she was doing all these different things, and that creates a fear inside of us, period. But I'm gonna talk about the man at this point. Fellas, being with one woman is okay. Is it difficult? Possibly. It depends on your mind frame and where you are. I know for me, I grew up as a young kid, like, you know, yo, I want to be with one woman, I want to have a big house, I want to have kids, you know, just the regular dreaming as a kid. And yes, I was that person. And I really only wanted one woman. But when I got my heart broken, and when I saw all my other relationships fail, regardless if it was my fault or not, I had that fear and I had that anxiety of, oh, this relationship not gonna last that long anyway. So why am I even in it? So why would I even ask this woman to go to the next step in a relationship with me? Why would I want to be with just one woman when more than likely this relationship is not gonna work anyway? So I may as well, you know, keep this other chick on the side, or still have these friends and still contact them and let them contact me, because more than likely eventually this relationship is not gonna work anyway. So we tend to, and when I say we, I'm talking about everybody in general, we tend to focus on what could possibly happen and not necessarily look at the positive of things. But it's a beautiful thing to see a relationship work. It's a beautiful thing to see people communicate with one another and let them know how they feel. Fellas, before I go, open up to your girl, man. If you've been with her for some years, and you know y'all really believe in being married together, and you actually see her as your wife, let her know this and explain to her the reasons why you haven't made that step yet. And if it's that time, man, just go ahead and step out on faith, bro, and go ahead and put a ring on it. Because if not, what's going to end up happening is somebody's going to recognize it, and I'm pretty sure there's somebody been in that inbox, and because you haven't made that commitment, because you're so afraid of it, if she hasn't acted on it, she's thinking about it. Not because she doesn't love you, but because she feel like at this point you're wasting her time. Ladies, if you want to be that wife to somebody, make sure you acting as such. Make sure you're his biggest cheerleader. You know, encourage that man. You know, be there for him. Do what's necessary for him to make him feel comfortable and make him feel secure that you're going to be there for him for the rest of his life and not just going to leave him hanging. So that's my word for today. That's my video for today. Again, the title is Why Hasn't He Asked You to Marry Him? I hope this is helpful to some relationships, and I did make this video much longer than what I expected, but it was a lot to say, and I didn't want to short you all or myself by just giving you a taste of it. I wanted to give you the full thing, and so you can actually eat off of it for the rest of the day. Y'all please like and share my videos. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.